Hi there, I'm Mike from ATB Guitars in Cheltenham, and this is Q&A with Mike number 20. We're going to kick off straight away with a question we have from Robert Scott, 1969, who writes via Instagram. Should I refret my 64 Firebird? It has the original frets, but they're in rough shape. Okay, Robert, thanks for the question. Well, the simple answer to that is if you play it, which it sounds like you do, then you should. The only reason I would not advise refretting it is if the guitar is in mint condition and it's basically unused and it's more of a collector's piece than a playing piece. In that instance, you would devalue it by refretting, and it's so difficult to get the frets on Gibsons with bound necks to be absolutely perfect, and it does affect the value. A guitar which you play like it sounds like this Firebird does if it's got worn frets, then if you refret it, it's not going to devalue it by much, if any, at all. In fact, it may even enhance the value for a guitar which has been played. The simple reason is that it makes it more usable. Frets are considered to be a disposable part of a guitar. They get worn out like tyres, and it's not uncommon at all for guitars to be refretted. We have loads here which have been refretted. And do we price them any differently? Again, if it's absolutely a mint guitar, then yes, we would. But if it's a guitar with playwear, we may knock a few quid off, but nothing very much at all. So if it's a guitar you play, Robert, then please go ahead, get it refretted because you'll enjoy it more. But if it's a guitar which is under the bed, pristine, mint condition, leave it well alone. Don't do it. Hope that helps. Okay, next question from Joel Mason Official from Instagram. Hi, Joel. His simple question is, favourite year of the ES335 and why? Okay, well, I've sold a load of ES335s and I definitely have a favourite. My favourites would probably be a very early 1959 335. Now, the reasons why are probably threefold, fourfold even. First of all, it's got the incredible feeling 59 neck profile, which I and a lot of people really do like. It's the very early 59s will have the thin top, the thin ply top. Now, that certainly when you play it acoustically does make a difference in the sound. It makes it more lively, makes it more resonant, and to my ears more responsive. So having a thin top is really good, and that was always through 1958. 1958 335s had a thin top, and then the very early ones from 1959 had it before they went to the thicker maple ply top. Other reasons why this is the best is because, well, in my opinion, I think it's best, is by early 59, they'd sorted out the neck angle, which they had issues with during 1958, i.e. the neck was too straight on the body in 1958, so they had to have a special shaved down ABR1 to get the strings at the right break angle on the 335 and have a decent action. So by late 58, early 59, they'd sorted that issue out. So playability wise, I think it's the best. Sound wise, I think it's the best. Neck profile wise, I think early 59 is the best. And also as an added bonus, a lot of early 59 335s have double white paths, patent applied for pickups, which, although it doesn't affect the sound or playability at all, it's always a nice bonus to have because these are the most valuable paths or most valuable Gibson pickups you can find, and that's always a nice thing to discover when you buy one. Okay, next question is from Junkenstein10 via Instagram. Junkenstein asks, thoughts on smaller Fender amps, Champ, Princeton, etc. Well, they're great. They're lovely. Obviously, you can't use them in a gigging situation very much if you're working with a drummer, or you've got a very, very good PA, which they can be mic'd up. But they're great amps, especially the tweed versions, in my opinion, and also some of the blackface ones. Some of my favourite amps include the Princeton Reverb, the blackface ones, which were made between 64 and 67. They're great little amps. Personally, I also like the Tweed Champs, the sort of 5F1 variant of these, and also the black Tolex covered 5F1s, which are basically the same amp as the Tweed. The Tweed Princetons are quite underrated and really nice sounding amps. With most of these amps, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to run it flat out or close to flat out and use the volume on your guitar, like they used to do in the old days. That is an incredible way of getting to the soul of these amps. When you wind down the volume, it should clean the sound up. When you whack it up, you have enough for your lead breaks or your chunky rhythm sounds. And we've always liked Champs, Princetons. They're great little amps, and they work insanely well in the studio as well. We've sold Princeton Reverbs and Champs to some very well-known artists, and we know they use them consistently in the studio and get great results. So thumbs up. Great little amps. Right, next question is from Kearsbray, who writes via Instagram. He says, is there more market demand for Gibson double cut melody makers currently? Okay, Kearsbray, that's an interesting question, and one which I'm afraid I don't have a definitive answer for. Simply put, we just don't sell enough of melody makers, either single cut or double cut, to give you a qualified answer to that question. The last few we've sold have been fairly rare cardinal red melody makers, and they've gone reasonably quickly, but that may be because they're rare custom colours. We've had a few of the double cuts, which do seem to be more popular than the single cuts, I agree, but we haven't had any for a long time now, probably pre-pandemic, and guitar prices have adjusted a lot since COVID times, so I'd like to be able to answer your question with an intelligent answer, but I'm afraid we just don't have the data to be able to give you a proper answer. But maybe they have. Maybe it's something we should look at buying more. But anyway, sorry I can't be more help. Right, next question is from the Dave Burley Project from Instagram. He asks, favourite Les Paul to come through ATB? Okay, that's a difficult one to answer, actually. We've had a lot, and we've had a lot of favourites as well. I would say right now probably my favourite has to be the one we called Dirty Burst, which if you have a look at our previous videos, we've actually done 3 on the Dirty Burst topic, about how we came to discover it, how it was sold, and people's Q&As on Dirty Burst. So check that out, because that is probably my favourite Les Paul to come through ATB Guitars I'd say in the last 4 or 5 years, something like that. But there's been many others. The irony with the Dirty Burst is when we got it, we couldn't even play it. Pickups didn't work, the bridge was sitting on some gaffer tape, and the frets were absolutely shot. So it felt great, and it had a brilliant backstory to it, and obviously the person we sold it to, Joe Bonamassa, loved it. So if somebody held a gun at my head and said, what's your favourite Les Paul? Then I'd probably say that one. So hope that answers your question. So next question is from Max John Page, again from Instagram. He asks me, the ES225 seems to be fantastic value for a golden era Gibson. Are they arguably the equal or better of the 330? Okay, that is a very good question as well, and one which I would say a definite yes to. I think they're probably very undervalued at the moment, and I think they're as good as a 330. Are they better? They're probably not better, but I think if you get a good 225, it's going to be as good as a 330. One of the key to the sound of the ES225 is the trapeze bridge. Now, in 1959, mid-59, when they were starting to phase these out, they issued them with a wooden bridge and a separate tailpiece, and they don't sound as good in our experience. We've actually done blind tests on this to back this up. So yeah, they're underrated guitars. They're really good. Find one with a trapeze tailpiece. My vote would be a 57, a 58, or an early 59, and you'll find that they're cracking pieces. And at the moment in the marketplace, I think they're desperately undervalued. So watch the space. I think they're only going to go in one direction, especially after this video. Right, next question is from Tom O'Hagan, again from Instagram, who asks us, what, in your opinion, is the best hollow body guitar ever made? Okay, simple answer is none of them. Go out and buy a Les Paul instead. But that's not necessarily the entire truth. If you're after a hollow body guitar, in my opinion, probably the best one you can find is a Gibson L5. We've had a few L5s here, and they've been incredibly beautiful instruments, not just to look at but to play. And you get an L5 CES with the two vintage humbuckers in, and you've got a very, very capable guitar of doing not just jazz, which is what a lot of people play on hollow body guitars, but also more rockabilly, rock type tones. It's a brilliant guitar, and I think it's one of the nicest constructed ones, made of the finest materials. It's got a nice carved maple top, and they're great. Honourable mention, though, must go to a Gibson ES175. They're often considered as a working man's jazz box, and they are great guitars. They sound superb. There's lots of artists who use these who get some incredible versatile tones from them, and the 175 is a wonderful guitar, which again you can use in different circumstances for different styles of music. So if you're looking for a hollow body guitar, ignore my first comment. If you're looking for a hollow body guitar, L5 or Gibson ES175. And again, if you're getting a 175, then I would say late 50s would be the sweet spot to aim for, if you can, but they're not that cheap, especially if they have the original pickups fitted. So if you're on a bit of a budget, then you will find ES175s that have been tomb raided by people, various people, not us, I hasten to add. These guitars are renowned for having the paths stripped from them and sold separately. So if you're on a budget, you can find 59 Gibson ES175s, which have had the pickups removed, have some very capable pickups put back in them, and you get a brilliant 1959 ES175, which sounds almost identical to how it originally did for a fraction of the price, probably half or even a third. So there's a tip for you. I hope that helps. Right, well, that wraps up this Q&A session. Thank you very much for all your really interesting questions. There's been a good variety this time round. Please follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Please give us a like and subscribe if you like this and want to subscribe. We would very much appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one.